Hello, it's SEC After Dark. Back again. Yet even another new look. Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, Jake Thomas joining me. We're presented by, for now, betonline.ag. How's everybody doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Awesome.
We're getting some storms down here in Florida.
Yeah.
I see that, or I hear that. I guess actually we talked about it pre-show. You flickering and everything like that. Is the storms past, or is you got another round coming?
I think we might be done, but if we go off, that's everybody should know that's what's happened.
All right, so it's Zeus calling the show early if that goes out. So we're presented by betonline.ag. BetOnline is your number one source for all your baseball, NBA playoff, and NHL playoff needs. From baseball info to stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including latest player reports from this year's NBA playoffs. BetOnline is your number one in sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs: baseball, baseball, NBA, NHL, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest, easiest way to get all the betting information, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. I'm a blackjack man myself. So head to the website today or use that mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use your our promo code Bleav to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline is where the game starts, guys. We got an action-packed show. I don't know if we could hear the music track that was playing. Could we? Could you guys hear it on your end?
No.
Or was it just me? Okay. I got a pretty funky music track here for you, Steve. It is not copyright protected either, so it's fair game. So I'll give that to you. It's pretty slick. But we got a lot to talk about, man. We got some new rules in college football, a new field storming rule that we'll get to, the BAMA quarterback situation. We were having quite the bit of fun at Jake's expense in the Twitter chat, and then of course something happened this weekend called the NFL Draft. Nick Caserio is a genius, I guess you could say. But let's start with the new rules. All right, there's a new clock rule, right? It does not stop after first downs, so they're going more NFL on that. And then the field storming. So if you storm the field, you could be punishable up to losing a home game the following season. What do you guys think?
Well, the clock stopping one I'm fine with. That doesn't bother me. But storming the field one, I don't know.
Okay, the storm of the field one just kind of feels like I understand why they're doing it. The SEC has been trying to stop this thing for 30 years, and now they just make more money that they can just pay the fine. It turned into a speeding ticket as a sentence.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're doing this to honestly protect Alabama, Georgia, and Kentucky. I mean, they're the ones that whenever they get stormed, they get their feelings hurt. They get on TV. And next thing you know, they want to do something else, something a little bit different. But I don't think that this is Greg Sankey acting unilaterally. Greg Sankey works for the university presidents, so he would not put anything out like that unless there was a chance that the rest of the presidents were involved in this as well.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I'm sure there's a board of trustees, and it has to go through layers and layers of vetting before it gets passed. But, you know, again, when people storm the field, things happen. You know, we saw several incidents. Jermaine Burton was at the center of one of those, former Georgia player, current Bama player, involving a female on the field, which it amounted to a big nothing burger, but it was talked about for an entire week and how he should be kicked off the team and thrown in jail and all that stuff. But nonetheless, like, you can avoid situations like that. You know, at Georgia, if they storm the field, they're going to destroy the hedges. That costs a lot of money to replace those hedges, and a lot of time and a lot of effort to replace those. You know, goalpost, of course, and, you know, Kentucky, they storm the field every chance they get. Clemson is just I know Clemson's not in the SEC, but it's just normalcy there.
Well, let's not pretend this is for anything other than the fact that the SEC is lucky as hell that girl at the Tennessee game didn't sue the conference because of what Jermaine Burton did.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, and that is the reason this is a thing. If there was no incidents or just a random fan like on the goalpost doing something that they could claim assumption of the risk, they would not be doing this. But since an Alabama player was upset because it was an emotionally charged situation, and that situation with that girl, now all of a sudden that became the front page news for a week. SEC presidents didn't like being on the front of the news for a week, and now here we are.
And they're going to do something about it. So, yeah, I mean, I understand. It's not. I mean, what about the punishment? Does a punishment fit the deal here, Jake?
I was just going to say, and I have my mic muted for the first 10 minutes of this show. I'm sorry, but I just not realized that. I've been trying to talk, and nobody's been saying anything. So I was like, "What is going on?"
We're just ignoring you, bud. We're just ignoring you, bud.
Well, and also I want to say, as you can tell, my internet performance tonight is just like the quarterback performances of Alabama's in the 8A game right now. It's absolute garbage. But anyway, I'll get to
Is
that
it so
later,
bad
but
you have to go get a Lycos card to supplement your AOL card like Bama's doing?
Yeah, right. But two things, I have been a big opponent about them changing rules in our sports. And I hate it because, when I go to ball games and when I watch them on TV, I'm not invested in the time of what time it is and how long it's going. I'm invested in watching the game in its entirety. I don't care if it's 4 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. I'm there to watch the game. And my thing is, if you want to make the game less, make it shorter than what it is now, lessen the commercials. But they're not going to do that because we are just money hungry in society these days, and they're not going to get rid of the commercials. So, it is what it is. And on the other thing, the new rule that just got passed this week, the storming the field, that just tells me that Auburn is going to have one season where they're going to play every game on the road because they like to storm the field like every single time they get to. So.
And Jake, to your point about the timing rules and shortening the game or shortening the length of the game is not to draw you in because they already have you. They're trying to draw the casual viewer who's just, hey, college football's on. I'm going to invest a little bit of time into it, and I don't want to be bored for 4 hours. That's why nobody watches baseball because it's too long. And they made some rules to shorten it up, and I think viewership's gone up.
I haven't watched a single second of baseball this year because of that rule. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Oh,
I don't mind it. Oh. I don't mind it. Okay, here we go. We got a war here because Steve is all for the pitch clock.
Oh my goodness, I love the pitch clock. It is one of my favorite things ever. It has gotten rid of the one thing that I didn't even realize I hated just intently about baseball, and that is the throw to first, and just doing that over and over and over again. And now that that's gone, and they're actually running the ball and they're actually playing a little bit of baseball now, I mean, it's like when I was a kid. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, has there been any egregious infractions or any game-changing moments so far? I don't think I've seen any or heard about any. I mean, when I watch a Braves game, man, it's like bam, 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 man. It's great.
Yeah, Ronald Acuna has like 20 stolen bases already.
Yeah. It's
cool. Because, once you throw over to first twice, he can he can walk to first base because they can't throw back over there. So,
well, they can. They just have to get him out.
Yeah. So, I don't like it.
I don't like that part of it, but I just like the
The only rule in baseball that I'm glad they changed was you can't go to the bullpen after one batter. You have to let that batter or let that pitcher pitch to three batters in that inning.
Again, it's a time thing. I mean, as long as viewership goes up and the popularity increases, you'll start to see baseball. Their product will be a lot better. There'll be a lot more players wanting to play in the MLB and things like that. And you'll have some really good stuff happening. So I'm all for it. I know, Jake, you're not. Steve, you're all for it.
Oh yeah.
You get rid of analytics and baseball will come back. Because I mean, right now you will never see another pitcher throw a perfect game or a complete game for that matter.
Yeah, I do not like that. Let your starters go. That's what they're built for.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I just want to say this. I'm getting to know teams again slowly because, you know, I've been away for so long. But is the Milwaukee Brewers basically an adult beer league softball team? Like a really good one?
Yeah.
Yeah. You talking about uniforms or just the way they play?
Both. That their brew crew thing is exactly something you would see.
Yeah.
And that, but I mean, what is his name? Rowdy Tellez. That dude's pushing 350, I think.
I haven't watched the Brewers yet this year. I guess I got to
I haven't seen that either.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, it looks like I need to go see some Brewer highlights.
Well, I will put it like this. Whenever you have sausage as an important part of your team, the Brewers are built exactly the right way.
Yeah. Now I will say the White Sox have adopted the beer league uniform with the all black pinstripes, with all black and white pinstripes.
That's the Saints Row uniform. Every time they wear that, I picture Saints Row.
Yeah.
South
Wes,
Side.
Wes, we'll get to your comment in just a second, but sticking with baseball, there's a team, Stephen Jeb, right close to you guys who are absolutely on fire right now. That's the Tampa Bay Rays.
Dude, they're dangerous.
Randy.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
Randy.
Steve, I know you don't want to clout chase, but you might ought to jump on that.
No. I've been a lifelong Tigers fan for like a month.
You can have a secondary team.
No, I like it. Randy Arozarena is one of my favorite players in the league.
He is. He's really good.
It's fantastic.
Tampa's kind of killing it in all sports right now. Except basketball.
Yeah.
You mean Champa Bay?
Sure.
Yeah, really.
Tampa Bay.
Lightning, the Bucks. Although I don't think the Bucks will be champions this year.
Yeah, the Bucks have resorted to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they're gonna slide back down. But
or Kyle Trask. Does Kyle Trask beat him out?
yeah.
Not a chance. Okay, so we've talked rule changes. Let's just get on with it. Bama quarterback situation. Poor Jake. Bama's getting desperate that they're having to reach to Notre Dame's bench. A guy that lost to Marshall last year.
Don't read it too much into that. I'll tell you what.
I gotta have some fun at your expense, Jake. So I'm gonna read all the way into it.
No, don't, because I mean, if you look back at past A-Day games, Bryce Young, last year went like 9-26. So historically, quarterbacks do not do well in A-Day games.
But we knew Bryce Young was the real deal.
It don't matter. Blake Sims went like 12-27 when he was in the quarterback battle with Jack Coker. Jack Coker didn't do any better that year. So don't read too much into the quarterback situation. Wes, I am fine with either guy. I don't think we need to port a quarterback. You got to give these time. You got to give these guys time to develop in a new system, and get some continuity in with the players that's on the field.
Well, I guess this answers our question as to who's going to struggle, Georgia or Bama. I think Bama's in the leader in the clubhouse in that regard, as far as the quarterback position goes. So, I definitely don't think you need to reach into the portal, especially for Buckner. No. If you reach for Buckner, it's just like pissing in the wind.
And I heard he's looking at Auburn too, so they probably need a quarterback worse than Alabama does.
Well, if you need some portal players, Colorado just unloaded a bunch.
Really?
Yeah, like 20. Good night.
But talking about this Alabama quarterback situation, I do agree with everything Jake says. You can't judge anything off of a spring game. But
right.
I will say this.
So Carson Beck is not going to win the Heisman. Okay, damn.
No.
I will say this. The fact that Nick Saban and Tommy Rees are actively looking and bringing in visitors, that tells me more than any performance in a day game.
There it is. Stay 2 of 24. My bad. So there you go.
Pretty good game there for Blake.
He completed a pretty awesome pass to Senquez Golson.
Very good.
All right, Steve.
Steve's giving us a recap from that game. All right, full rundown.
2014. Yeah.
Full rundown. A-Day 2014. Is that the 92K game? Is that the 92,000 game?
I was at that game. It might be. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about disappointment on that part. So
they reached out to Gardner Minshew because he was going to do that to be a coach. He wasn't going to be brought in as an actual quarterback. That was a coaching stop.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. But I mean, it is because Saban's not one to panic. Jake, you know that. Jeb, you know that. He's not one to panic, and the fact that he's bringing people in for visits, there might be some cause for concern if I'm being honest. I mean, I love Milroe, but there's something about him that just Saban just does not like, or Tommy Rees doesn't like, and then Simpson is beat up, but I mean he wasn't lighting the world on fire to begin with, so.
Well, honestly, the biggest issue coming out of A-Day was the drops from the wide receivers. Again, there was 10 drops in that game, so that's the biggest issue. That's
another
what we need
position of concern.
That's what we need to be talking about. We don't need to be talking about the quarterback situation. We need to talk about the wide receiver drops that have continued.
Okay. Well, we're in the Bama segment here, Jake. So, what is it about recruiting for these wide receivers? Like, why, since your last of the big four went to the NFL, what's been the issue? Like Ja'Cory Brooks, I thought he was supposed to be the heir apparent. He's not. He's just a dude. And then you just have dudes after that. Yes, Steve.
Lane Kiffin left Alabama.
Yeah, I heard you say that the other day.
And Steve Sarkisian, yes.
Bill Bryan really stunted the growth.
As a recruiter, he was not the same guy.
No. But I just, I mean, Ja'Cory Brooks has shown flashes. I mean, look what he did in the Auburn game a few years ago. I mean, he made the game-winning or the game-tying catch pretty much. And then, last year we had like 4 freshmen on the field as well.
But if your number one is showing flashes, that's not good. Your number one's not supposed to show flashes.
Hey,
we also brought in Bird who did nothing.
Especially at Bama.
I am not being disrespectful to Alabama in the slightest, and I don't want anybody to hear that, okay? But if Bryce Young is not the quarterback at Alabama last year, they're 7-5, 8-4 team. They're in the Music City Bowl. He won 2 or 3 games just because he is Superman, and he's going to be the first pick in the draft. Now, y'all get credit because y'all had him. That's part of your roster. But this year, he's gone. Those same wide receivers are back. Somebody has to step up. Now, I hear people like Justice Haynes, that running back. Those guys have not gotten on campus yet, so we haven't seen what they're going to do. Is Justice Haynes Veron Haynes' son, by the way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Haynes is on campus, by the way. He played in the A-Day.
Oh, he did? Which is the 5-star that wasn't on campus?
Young is not there yet.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, they're terrific players, and we can't fully judge this Alabama team until we see what it looks like when they are there. But it is
their running back situation is going to be nasty, though. They're going to run the hell out of football. I'll say that. Yeah,
they're going to have to, and the tight end usage and all of that stuff, and we'll see if it actually works. But I will say this: Alabama hiring Tommy Rees. If there's anybody that knows everything that they need to know about Tommy Rees, it's Brian Kelly.
Yeah, he made them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the competition at the top of the West. Nobody else. I guess next in a distant third would be like Ole Miss, and then you have like Arkansas and Auburn fighting for mid. And
What about A&M?
After last year, I'm not talking about Texas 8-4 again. They're in show me mode.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
They've always been in show me mode for me. I mean, Jimbo it's been a flop, so to speak. But going back to what Stacey, you made this comment about not everyone can be Smitty. Well, you're Alabama, and you've been recruiting you can have a Smitty type player every single year. The fact that you haven't had one means your receiving recruiting has fallen off of a cliff. And I know what this looks like because back in like the mid 2010s, Coach Rick, like after AJ Green, we had a run of receivers that were highly rated coming out of high school, but never really panned out because they never really developed once they got on campus. This is what you're seeing. This is very similar to that situation.
Well, Corey, you just made the comment that Alabama is going to run the hell out of the ball this year with Tommy Rees. So, as long as we have a serviceable quarterback and serviceable wide receivers, and we can open up lanes and in the trenches for those running backs, we don't need necessarily to have to win games throwing through the air as we have before. We can run the ball.
Don't want to get one dimensional though.
Yeah, I didn't say that was I didn't say that was necessarily a great thing because you do need some sort of threat. Although you need some sort of threat because people are going to load the box on you. That's
look what happened to Ole Miss last year. Everybody at the end of the year was geared up to just completely geeked up to stop Quinshawn, and they weren't scared of Jackson Dart at all.
And that's going to happen to Bama. I mean, it's happened to every team in the league. I mean, it's just not. It's not a slight. It's just it is what it is. Like you guys have hit a patch to where you had some guys that because recruiting's not an exact science. You've had a patch of recruits that really haven't panned out for whatever reason.
And
I mean, Mechie and Jamo were there, and how they recruited or how they drafted.
They were there, but they're not there now. They're in the NFL. But
by the way, I'll say this about the system that Alabama's running and moving to with Tommy Rees. Georgia would not be back-to-back winning national champion winners without Stetson Bennett. We're going to see. I mean, you needed some special type plays from that quarterback position to make that running game work, and Alabama needs that from the quarterback position as well. And if they don't, they're going to struggle. That's just the way this works. I mean, Tennessee might jump up and get Georgia this year because Carson Beck is a pure drop back quarterback, but he can't make those special plays that Stetson Bennett could make from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he gets the ball out of his hands quick, so it might be a different type of game plan, which could be for better or for worse. I don't know, but only time will tell. But again, to me, looking at their quarterback situation, what they're going to need is Milroe. Like if they're going to run the hell out of the ball, they need Milroe to provide an extra running threat who can throw, and that will get them out of some of the issues that they're looking like they're going to have.
We're going to bring it full circle. They need Blake Sims. That's what they need. That's all they need. They do not need A.J. McCarron. If you take a Blake Sims and how effective would he be in that offense, let Jalen Milroe run the zone read. If he's an effective passer at all, this Alabama offense can be dangerous, especially with the way they're going to use tight ends and, play old man football.
But to take it some full circle again, there's going to have to be these receivers are going to have to get some separation, which they struggled to do.
Either that,
they're going to have to figure
the tight
that
ends
out.
need to be special. If they have a tight end break free, like Georgia's not where they are again without Brock Bowers. They need one of these guys to show up as well. That'll help out a quarterback as well.
That will definitely help out a quarterback. Yeah. Well, Ty is not a threat in the run game like Milroe is. I don't know, but
Hey, he was the number one dual rated quarterback coming in out of high school. So I mean, he can run. He had like 60 yards rushing in the game the other day.
Is that before the thumb, the magic thumb, the green thumb?
I mean, that happened on the first series of the game.
My goodness, Alabama's quarterback gets twice hurt in a game when quarterbacks aren't getting hit. I don't know how that happens.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Thumb and UCL strain. I was like, good grief. I think that was probably on the same play, but you know what I mean.
It could have been.
Yeah, because he hit that helmet. That was force in that pass.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of insight into Alabama. Okay, I'm listening. I didn't keep up with y'all's A game. No offense.
This is a tennis match for Jeb.
Yeah.
Jeb is taking it in so he can run back to Harbaugh, or where is it? Josh Harpel, whatever, and give Josh Heupel and give him the inside scoop. So
we got Alabama this year. We got him.
The inside scoop.
Fitting their quarterback and wide receivers.
Did you guys see the SEC meeting thing that comedian does on YouTube? Just like a checkout thing, it's cost a couple of days. Have y'all seen that?
That might have been his funniest one. Is this the guy that runs through and pretends to be different teams and stuff?
Yes.
I think this was his funniest one.
It's like him and that Annie Agar girl do those meeting things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are funny.
And that one I sent in the chat was pretty funny too.
You look at it basically, like the whole time the Ole Miss person's like, has anybody seen Morgan Wallen? Because oh my gosh, there's people just all been out of shape about a country artist not showing up. That's half of going to a country concert is not knowing if the main act is going to perform. And they're talking about the Vandy guy. He said 10-game schedule. He meant 9-game schedule. But the Vandy guy's like, are you guys literally trying to kill me?
Yes. That was so great.
My favorite low-key, just real quick comment was when Ole Miss was complaining about nobody stopping Morgan Wallen from leaving. And he just says, hey, welcome to the Pete Golden era. just real quick. Nobody's going to try and stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we do it. Welcome. I just like that. It was real low key, real fast.
That's funny. Welcome to the Pete Golding era. I love it, man.
Cassidy, thank you very much.
Jake, you can borrow one.
Oh yeah.
You can borrow a quarterback from Ole Miss.
Yeah,
they got like 10 on hand,
On this episode of Hoarders.
The rumor is they're recruiting Brady Allen from Purdue.
Oh my God!
Of course they are.
It literally is all your quarterbacks belong to us.
Oh my God! I mean it's very on brand for Ole Miss, I guess.
Yep.
So moral of the story, it's Bama. Don't panic yet, but we're gonna panic because it's just fun.
Well, we'll see y'all in the championship in SEC championship game, Corey.
What? Florida versus LSU. You can sit right next to me.
No.
According to the speaking of quarterback troubles, you could be Florida.
Yeah, really.
Graham Mertz.
Believe it or not, I talked about Jack Miller with Damon Williams, the Ole Miss quarterback commitment. He's going to be on the Locked On Ole Miss program Friday. And
to Graham Mertz, though, he was simultaneously the best and worst quarterback recruit that Wisconsin's ever had.
Man.
Because he was a 5-star coming out of Kansas, and he completely busted after that. He had a really good debut game against Illinois. He threw like 5 touchdown passes. I mean, and then he just went in the tank. Never recovered.
I just remembered the reason I brought up that SEC meetings guy. He made a comment about Anthony Richardson, and the Florida person's like, we used to have a quarterback named Anthony Richardson. And the guy's like, yeah, he did a backflip, and he threw a ball and hit the top of a building. And the guy said, oh, was there an open receiver on the building? He's like, no. Oh, okay. That was our guy.
Yeah. That was awesome. Was there an open receiver up there? No. Yeah, okay. That was probably him then. Yeah.
and it was like, hey, that feels like my Joe Milton joke.
Yeah.
That's like the Anthony Richardson version of my Joe Milton joke.
You know the Spider-Man meme where it's like Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that Anthony
Yeah.
Richardson and Joe Milton?
That was my first thought when you started talking about Anthony Richardson.
And
But how far can he
potentially
go
Will
in
Levis.
orange from his knees? Oh, yeah. Will Levis, too.
God,
Big
Will
arms.
Levis.
But
Did y'all see that he went went in Vegas from 1,000 to 1 odds to 200 to 1 odds to be the number 1 pick?
Please.
The other day.
yeah. I think
My
they tricked some
gosh.
people into betting.
Okay,
on him.
so here's my conundrum.
Yeah.
I guess we're going into the draft here, but here's my conundrum. This is segment 3. We are SEC After Dark. Follow us on social media at SEC_After_Dark. Follow at the Stephen Willis, at Jake Thomas TTS, Tide Talk Live, Locked On Ole Miss, Bleav In Georgia Dawgs or Bleav In Dawgs, at Coach Burton 36 as well, and at Stolen Grin. It's at UTK Joe.
Yes.
Your name is
Uh,
that always confuses me.
Yeah.
And just to do podcast.
Coming
Yeah.
soon to the YCN.
You know what? Before we move on, we should tell everybody because we've got several people watching the product at the moment.
Okay,
But we should let them know that we are completely expanding this channel. So if you know go ahead and subscribe to the SEC After Dark YouTube channel, and it's After Dark commentary and reactions. And we're going to do some interesting niche stuff on this channel that's going to be other than just football. And one of those things that Jeb is going to do, he is going to recap the plot of obscure 80s movies. As ridiculous as it sounds, the title of the show will be If You've Lost the Plot. And, like Back to School and stuff like that. He's just going to just 10, 15 minutes of that. We'll obviously have this channel, our 1923 reactions. We're going to do a reaction on it. Indiana Jones, which, by the way, Steven Spielberg gave 2 thumbs up on.
Wait, I need to see both It's It 1 and It 2. The old and new versions. If we're going to do a reaction on It,
I'm out on that. I hate that movie.
Yeah, I don't watch. I do not watch horror movies because I do not import negativity into my life.
Look, the new ones were pretty good.
that sounds like a dramatic Instagram post. So,
Yeah.
speaking of dramatic, so before we get into the draft, we have a comment. I'm thinking that's Wes. It is Wes. I need to get my glasses. I need to find my glasses. So he's saying Coach Prime over out there in Colorado, he's digging himself a massive hole. No, this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted to
Right.
purge the roster.
He told them.
He told him the minute he stepped foot on campus, jump in, I'm bringing my luggage, and it's Louis Vuitton. Get in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Here we are.
Yeah,
They did.
I saw the
He
original.
knows exactly what he's
Stacey.
doing.
That was Tim. What's his name?
Curry.
Tim Curry. Yeah,
Yeah. Which is really good.
saw that
Yeah,
one.
no.
I didn't see the one with the guy from Vikings yet, which I'm not going to either.
The first one was really good. The second one, it was not bad, but not great.
I haven't seen either of them. I probably don't plan to. I don't mind horror movies. I just don't watch them.
Do you know what
whatever reason.
movie that everybody hates and I originally did not like that now I find enjoyment in watching?
Is it a horror movie?
No.
No. Good enough.
Fast and the Furious.
No. I haven't seen Fast and the Furious since like 2.
Same.
Indiana
I mean, it's about
Jones
4 or
and the
5.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
No,
You love the Indiana Jones movies.
Oh man, I've got a full comic book set that's like in mint condition. That's the original comic book release of Temple of Doom.
Nice.
So
There you
got
go.
that as well.
First 3 movies were good, but Crystal Skull, no.
You know, I
I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't Indiana. It wasn't up to par.
oh, speaking of which, did y'all see the new trailer for the Flash movie?
No.
I have not watched the trailer. I've heard a lot of reactions so far.
Yeah,
People apparently have been very happy with it.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
is saying that the Flash could be one of the top 2 or 3 superhero movies of all time.
They brought back Michael Keaton as well
Yes.
as Batman, and so I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
and
for
in the
that.
preview, one of the preview, Michael Keaton says, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts."
Yes.
Even with Vinny Chase starring as Aquaman, it's going to beat that one.
We got a Facebook user without a name that says, "Remember the Titans is the greatest sports movie of all time." I disagree. That is Miracle.
It's probably still Wes. I don't know what the greatest. I go back and forth on that. Major League is so good.
I was going to say, you could have a hard time beating Major League.
Major League is so good, but so is, I mean,
2 damn hits. Oh,
you can't say that on
Nobody's
the.
listening.
Nobody's listening anyway. As corny as it sounds, I love A League of Their Own. I love Any Given Sunday. I thought that movie is so.
And then you get it Sunday's really
That
good.
movie's really good. Varsity Blues, because I was in high school when it came out, and that just hits different for me. Friday Night Lights. I love Miracle.
That's so good. That comment. Oh, that's the number one comment ever. Perfect. Good job, Facebook user.
Hell yeah, whoever you are.
very
That's
good.
awesome.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay, you win.
Oh,
Oh, that's good.
But whenever
Rocky
we do our
Flores.
new shows, also we got a niche show. Derek Vandegrift is going to have a show on Ole Miss baseball. It's going to be an Ole Miss baseball centric show. And also have a
Congratulations, Wes.
Twilight Zone show that is going to be on the channel from the original Rod Serling Twilight Zone.
Jeez.
So
Nice.
yeah, it's completely niche. This channel is about to get weird, and it's also about to get presented by somebody that is pretty cool. Honestly, we'll tell you about it a little bit later.
Yeah. You're going to love it.
Yep. And it's not slap chop. So
shake weight.
yeah, we're all getting shake weights.
Billy Mays here.
Those commercials with the women doing that, I'm like, what are we doing? You know, that is,
They know exactly what they're doing.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh God, somebody.
horrible.
Okay, Wes, freeze frame that or with Jeb doing the double.
I can get it.
Sweet. All right, let's. All right, before we get too far off the rails, because we need. I want to talk draft. First round is tomorrow night. Will Levis, Jake, thanks to Reddit and him telling people that he's going to Carolina. For my Dynasty League fantasy team, I hope to God this doesn't happen because I have Adam Thielen and DJ Shark, who were on separate teams last year and joined forces with the Carolina Panthers. But for the sake of being a Falcons fan, this would be a dream scenario if Will Levis went number one.
Yep, for sure.
Poor Vinny.
I heard
Poor
a rumor
Vinny
that
dying on that hill.
The Titans are getting close to drafting a quarterback.
As long as
See, I saw.
Malik Willis, guys.
Yeah. Well, I saw
He was a
an
third
article.
rounder.
Yeah.
I saw an article the other day that said that since C.J. Stroud scored so bad with his little test, that he could fall to the top 10. That's what the Titans are looking at, getting him at 11.
If he falls to 11,
potentially.
Titans better draft him
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
because that's a
I agree.
freaking
Yeah.
steal right there. That's going to be the next Justin Fields, where you just
Ohio
fall, he
State-
just falls for no reason.
Well, okay, let me ask you this question, okay? And you can't say – actually, you can say Justin Fields because he's probably the top of this list. Name the Ohio State quarterback that worked out in the NFL.
Justin Fields so far.
Justin Fields
He
is
has,
the only
he has
one.
not worked out yet. He's playing. He's not worked out.
But none of them have.
Well, he's had-
I mean, Troy,
he's had a
Troy
sh-
Smith.
he's had a-
yeah.
He's had a crappy team around him. Dude has been producing rush. I mean, he's got to get better in the passing game, but he's getting up there.
He's got,
We'll see.
He's got to get offensive line.
This is the
The
make or
Saint-
break year for him.
The Saints have made a living by drafting Ohio State wide receivers. They tried to draft a quarterback and it failed. The only Ohio State quarterback that has been a good quarterback in the NFL is Joe Burrow, and that's because he went to LSU and became the guy.
And the
Joe
Titans
Burrow.
do have kind of a rough history with this with Vince Young, especially with failing those tests. So I don't know.
An Ohio State quarterback failing a test? What?
I mean, has the Titans had a quarterback since Steve McNair? Honestly,
Ryan Tannehill.
I don't think
mean-
I don't think Tannehill's that
Yeah.
bad.
No, he's
People
good.
are freaking out about
Ah,
Tannehill. I
nah.
don't think he's not the
Right.
problem. I mean, he's
Right.
not great, but he's
Yeah, I was gonna
not
say, he's-
bad.
Other than 1
He's
year in
not a
college.
superstar.
Other than 1 year in college, he played wide receiver.
He's not, but he's
We-
not. I don't think he's necessarily the problem.
we were a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl.
And that's
few
when
years
everybody
ago.
turned on him was because of that
Whoa,
failure in the playoffs. But he was really good
yeah.
up to that point. He was doing really well. He
Pat
had a
Mahomes
bad game.
shredded that. Like there was no keeping up with Pat Mahomes that year.
Ah, man, we were in.
And that AFC and then he turned. And then once Pat Mahomes turned it on, that was ball game, dude. Like we got out coached and outplayed by Pat Mahomes. Like that has nothing to do with Tannehill.
No,
I'm not.
He did it all.
I mean that particular game was just once they tied it up after a 3. When we got ahead by a significant amount, and they came back and tied it up right before halftime. I was like, yeah, this is ball game. I mean, Mahomes is on fire. They had no answer for Tyreek Hill. I mean, it was just and no answer for Kelsey. And then they all of a sudden couldn't block Frank Clark. Like it was just an onslaught in the second half.
And I do feel like he's been hamstrung by offensive coordinator choices since Art
Yeah.
went to the Falcons.
That's
Ever
been
since we
all.
lost him.
Offensive line has been atrocious. I mean, they
Yeah.
can't hardly find running room for Derrick Henry. They have no imagination. Offensive play calling. I mean, the offense. I mean, hell, it didn't matter who played quarterback. I mean, what's his name? I forgot his name. I'm just the guy we just fired. What was it?
Robinson,
Oh.
the GM.
No, the coordinator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forget his name, but
The
you're the
hell's
one
his
we
name?
hired after Art Smith.
Yeah, what the hell was his name?
I don't remember.
He what did he go to the Falcons?
No, he went to the
No,
Jets.
this is the one after that.
Yeah, he went to the Jets.
That was a joke.
Todd Downing.
Todd Downing. Todd Downing is the only person in the league that can shut down Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what just freaks me out, and just thinking about it. Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. There's people talking like they're going to be top 5 quarterbacks in this draft. Okay, one of them lost to Vanderbilt, and the
Right.
other threw for 90 yards against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
It's bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's like no. Does anybody watch film? The next time Anthony Richardson throws for 250 yards in consecutive games will be his first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. People, well, okay, I'll say this about Anthony Richardson.
You can't cry poor at Florida. Oh, he was just at Florida. No, you can't do that. No.
No, that don't work.
Nope.
But I'll say this
Maybe
about
before.
Anthony Richardson. People are enamored by his physical attributes, and that's because you have these NFL coaches and GMs with huge egos saying, hey, we can fix this guy.
Jamarcus Russell.
I'm not against you, Steve, but that's the overarching thought with Anthony Richardson. Will Levis, I don't know what the hell they see, to be honest with you, because there's some boneheaded throws that he's made. There was one against Tennessee where it looked like he was throwing the game. He threw one to Alontae Taylor. It looked like he was intended. Looks like the pass was intended for Alontae Taylor. I mean, it was the one momentum. It would have been a momentum grabber against Georgia last year, where he just grossly underthrew a fade ball from like 30 yards and it was picked off by Keely Ringo. I mean, Keely Ringo had to break back for the ball to make the interception. Like the receiver had no chance.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say weather and all that stuff, but I mean, half your games in the league are going to be played in November, December in these harsh road conditions. Like Pittsburgh is never good weather, and you're going to have to throw in that crap.
Buffalo, never good weather.
Cincinnati, Green Bay, Cleveland, Seattle,
Minnesota.
Minnesota's in a dome.
You got the GM
Yeah,
of
that's
Indianapolis who thinks he's the smartest person in the room, and everybody's
Chris
saying
Ballard, he's
Anthony
cooked.
Richardson's going there. But the thing you need to realize is the room that he's the smartest in is like third period special ed.
It can't be first period or second period. So it's got to
it's
be third period. Third period. So, no, Chris Ballard. Nick Caserio I mentioned it at the top of the show. Nick Caserio, he's rumored to draft Will Levis. Then again, he's drafted. Yeah. So Nick Caserio is going to screw this thing up in two ways. Either he's going to draft Will Levis, or he ain't going to draft the quarterback at all, and they're going to go back with Davis Mills or Jeff Driscoll. Come on.
Yeah, honestly, the quarterbacks should be taken 1 and 2 is Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, and none of them are exactly perfect prototypical fit. Everybody pictures Josh Allen as a prospect. Josh Allen went like 24th in his draft because he was at Wyoming, and he made some tweets when he was a 14-year-old, posting rap lyrics, and people lost their mind.
That's why he fell.
Yeah, and.
Yeah, no, Josh Allen was...
Anthony Richardson hurt himself dancing pregame before South Carolina.
Right. And wasn't Dan Mullen the one that recruited Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. You're right, Wes.
Yeah, I've got no respect for Anthony Richardson and any.
Josh Allen went 7th. Josh Allen went 7th.
No, did he fall that low? Did he get taken
7th.
that high or whatever?
Yeah, he went 7th to the Bills. So it went Baker Mayfield, Saquon Barkley, Sam Darnold. How about an embarrassing pick?
Sam Darnold, good God.
Speaking of Anthony Richardson and Will Levis, okay.
Yeah. Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson. That was a hell of a pick by Colts right there at 6. Josh Allen and Roquan Smith went 8. Josh Rosen went number 10 that year.
Woo.
And what has he done?
I remember that class when everybody's saying, "Oh, it's just as deep as 1983," and really,
yeah.
Ooh, Rashad Penny went 27th. I forgot he was the first rounder. And guess who went number 32? Lamar Jackson. And Nick Chubb went 35 that year to the Browns.
Yeah.
Damn, this second round is better than the first round. That year. Holy snake.
Was that the AJ Brown year?
Hold on, let me go back.
Which year was
Bleav
that?
so 2018.
Thanks.
I don't know about that.
He's either 2018 or 2019.
I think it might have been 2019.
Was it in Nashville or was it in Dallas?
No, the Nashville one is when we took Jeffrey Simmons, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jeffrey Simmons and AJ was taken in the same draft, wasn't he? It's like first and second round.
Yeah, because I'm in the third round and I have not seen.
Yeah, that I don't think it was that far back. No, that's right.
2019, round 2, pick 51.
Okay,
is what AJ Brown was.
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
2018 is the weird year where Tennessee only had like 4 picks. And they took Rashawn Evans at linebacker in the first round, and Harold Landry went in the second round, which was a good pick, but Rashawn Evans was not.
Neither of them were with the team.
Wes says, real talk, Kincaid Dent can throw better than AR-15. And Kincaid Dent was the third-string quarterback for Ole Miss last year.
I mean, you got a good point.
I mean, Anthony Richardson can throw the hell out of a football, but you don't know where the hell it's going. There's no clue where it's going. Will Levis can sit on both knees and throw it 70 yards, but if there's another team over there, he's going to throw it to them.
I'm telling you, Will Levis's issue is he puts mayo in his coffee. That has stunted his growth and his arm accuracy.
No. You're concentrating on the wrong thing. His issue is he eats a banana with a peel on it. With all the pesticides that they use.
That's decision making right there. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
It's just
poor decision making. So,
by the way, the Titans did take a quarterback in that 2018 draft. By the way, they took
Logan Woodside. Oh, Luke Falk. Oh, that's
Yes.
a good.
Good part. That's
Back in
right.
the
I
Yeah.
first
remember
round. I think he was off the team after. I don't even think he made it a season.
Air raid
think he did either.
quarterbacks don't traditionally do well in the NFL.
Yeah, no, it was.
But
it
Luke
was a
Falk
terrible
did
pick.
make one start for the Jets, I think.
Ugh,
with his
just
Will
career.
Levis ice fishes and wears no socks. Nobody ever talks about Will Levis not winning the Penn State job and having to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
I mean,
a
he
combine
did-
where people are so obsessed with numbers and analytics that Anthony Richardson and Will Levis is going to get a GM fired.
Yes,
At,
absolutely.
be-
100%.
at best, both of them are third-round quarterbacks.
If anybody
And
trades
we-
up for one of them, yes.
And meanwhile,
have
somebody's
said
going to get a
that.
steal with Hendon Hooker in the
Yes.
second or third round.
I think it'd be better than either one of them. Absolutely.
I think Dorian Thompson Robinson is better than AR-15. I think
I don't think the Titans have a third round pick, but I think they got the first two. But I would love to see Hooker fall to the Titans in the second round. I would.
They don't
pick
have a
that
fourth
up in a
round.
heartbeat.
They have.
They don't have a fourth round. Okay.
That that Mike Mitchell or whatever the SEC meetings thing was like, oh, I'm sorry, I just heard you say Hooker and rumors.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hugh Freeze.
Yeah. He is. That's one of the best little skits he's done so far.
Yeah.
It was great.
And I just love him with the Auburn like drunk fan just drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all see that thing on social media the marketing company put out that Auburn has lost 47% of their fan base?
I did see that.
Good God.
they all switched to Alabama. I'm sure if they polled that every single year,
And no, they probably all switched to Georgia.
Yeah, because they're in Georgia.
They're the University of West Georgia.
Right.
they probably switched to the University of West Georgia. Go Braves! No, they're the Wolves now because they're politically correct.
I just can't wait till football season. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to raise my troll game this year.
So how about
So go ahead.
go ahead, Jake.
I'm just going to say, going to the draft, who y'all think is going to be the top 5 picks?
4 of them are going to be quarterbacks. No, I think Will Anderson is the first defensive player to go, or he better be.
Yeah. Do you think Jalen Carter falls at all? Or?
I think he falls a little bit.
He might go 5. I think I saw 5 on him in the draft.
Yeah, Joe. I had Joe DeLeon on my show last night, or the show that released this morning, and he was talking about he wouldn't be surprised if Seattle picked Jalen Carter at 5. He probably won't make it past 8 because I think the Falcons will draft him at 8, or Philly could trade in and get him somewhere in the 5, 6, 7 range. I think. If CJ Stroud falls to the Raiders at 7, he's going there. I think you're going to see. Honestly, I think you're going to see Bryce Young, Will Levis, probably Will Anderson. Not necessarily by the Cardinals. Whoever's picking number 3 may trade up and get Will Anderson, or the Cardinals may get Will Anderson. Then you're going to see Anthony Richardson go to the Colts. Then probably Jalen Carter. And then after that, it's probably Tyree Wilson. And then whatever order after that. I think it's going to be completely crazy after pick 6. I think it's going to be chalk for the first 5 or 6, and then it's going to get pretty crazy.
Yep, you're right.
Especially if Stroud falls, it's going to get really, really, really crazy.
Yeah, it makes me wonder with the Texans, because if they're sold on Bryce Young and he goes number 1, are they sold on one of the other quarterbacks, or do they go for someone like Will Anderson, the best defensive player, and hope with don't they have pick 12, something like that? Maybe they can get one there or move up a little bit if they want to get one of the others.
If they pick Will Anderson 2, they're banking on either A, being able to trade back in with the 12th pick and some of their second rounders, or they are thinking CJ Stroud's going to fall, or they might get Hooker.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night because there's really no telling what's going to happen with all of these picks outside of the number 1.
Right.
I think that's Bryce Young.
Or they could pick Levis at 12.
Yeah, that's the thing. So,
God.
They won't do it, but if the Saints aren't on the phone with the Carolina Panthers right now, I don't even know what they're doing.
They're probably not because it's the Saints. But they but you want to talk about the Spider-Man theme again full circle with the Spider-Man meme. Will Levis and Davis Mills. Yeah.
Davis Mills all day.
Yeah.
But they're the same cat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How do you pick between that?
No, I think Davis
But
Mills.
you don't waste a pick. I mean, you got Davis Mills already on the roster, the same person, same player. You don't waste a draft pick on Will Levis if you already got that top on the team.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Davis Mills is just a smarter version of Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he can see. Plus, he's like 6'5", but with his neck, he's like 7 feet.
He's got the Merton Hanks neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Davis Mills is like remarkably average. Like he makes some really, really nice throws, and then he makes some head scratchers.
Yeah,
You're just like, what the hell was that?
I don't. I'm just reading some of the chat.
Maybe
down
that's
here.
yeah. I haven't read that. We gotta make the chat bigger.
Before it leaves, but somebody said Rodgers predicted he goes all the way and wins it all this year with the Jets. Wow,
They got a nice defense, and they've got some weapons.
Rodgers didn't go all the way and win it with the Packers whenever they were the best team in the league like 5 times. I think he won it once, but I mean at that point, isn't that the fluke? Not the fact that he didn't win it.
yeah.
I think that honestly, I think the Jets' defense is right now better than what the Packers had that year.
The Jets seem to be built pretty well now. But
The Jets have got some. They were a dumpster fire on offense last year. But Breece Hall comes back. Garrett Wilson. They have Mecole Hardman now. They have Alan Lazard, who's like the red zone tall guy that he can throw the ball up to. They have a decent tight end. They're going to be pretty sporty.
Russell, the Broncos are making some big moves. Or is old Peyton and
Mr. Unlimited?
Is Peyton or Sean Payton and Russell Wilson still in a feud? They still don't like each other. I heard about that a few weeks
Sean
ago.
Payton doesn't like anybody. He's kind of like
that's true.
He's kind of like a sourpuss.
That's true.
Hey, before we get out of here, we got a question from Wes in the chat. He's like, hey, guys, who do you think are the best play-by-play powerhouses in the SEC? I have Eli Gold and David Kellum near the top in the country.
Eli
Gold is good.
Of course, I don't
Scott
know
Howard
that.
Scott Howard is okay. I mean, obviously, I love Scott Howard. I think he's made some really, really good calls. Him and Eric Zier do a good job at Georgia.
But before his untimely passing, the play-by-play guy for Auburn, was it Rob Johnson or something? He was really good.
Yeah, Auburn's going to win the football game. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good.
I think it would be awesome if Vandy had a really good play-by-play guy, but I have no idea who that is. LSU, I don't know that one. A&M don't really know that one. I'm sure Texas and Oklahoma have their guys that are pretty good. Arkansas, I have no, maybe Bob Kessling at Tennessee.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Bob Kessling is good.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
But
Larry Munson before he died.
Yeah, Larry Munson, Stan Torgerson, Jack Crystal. There was a point like John Ward at Tennessee. Into the checkerboard or give him 6 or something like that. Yeah.
You know who's really good? It's not in the SEC. Wes Durham at Georgia Tech. I think he's really good. He does Falcons games too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's really good. It's about the only thing good with Tech, but he's really good.
But you would assume that some of these programs have like really good radio crews, but I don't hear anything from Michigan, Ohio State, these other ones, these outside. The legends for them don't exist like the legends exist for SEC crews for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, the best play-by-play in any sport to me is Vin Scully.
Yeah.
It's not Chip Carey?
No.
What do you think? What's your opinion on Joe Buck?
B minus.
I like Gus Johnson.
Gus Johnson's good too. Yeah.
I love Gus Johnson.
I've had to go to the airport a couple times when the Tigers were on, so I got to listen to Dan Dickerson, the Tigers broadcasters. He's pretty good too.
Good.
Yeah. I think most of the baseball announcers, though, in radio are good because they've done this since the very beginning of radio. They've completely, as a formula, just nailed this down.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Skip Carey and Pete Van Wieren were
Oh man, awesome.
the best. Who? Okay, so one of my favorite analysts right now is Greg Olson. I love Greg Olson as an analyst.
Yeah, he's good.
I thought Herb Street did a hell of a job on Amazon.
Tony Romo, I really like him too.
He's kind
Yeah,
of jumping the shark a little
Olson's
bit.
the new Romo. And
Yeah.
besides, Tony Romo thinks he's Bill Murray from Caddyshack, and I still get angry at that.
Yeah. What, Jeb, Corey, what do you think about the new Braves guy? I
like
him.
him.
Brandon Gall.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far I do.
Him and I watched on Sunday with him and Tom Glavine, and they were pretty good too together. So
Yeah.
Braves got a good crew. I like the Braves pregame shows guys. You know, Paul Bird and those guys, Brian Jordan.
Yeah.
Frank Hoare's really good.
So
I missed your interview.
So Glavine and Smoltz are both in the broadcast booth. What's Maddox doing?
Maddox is coaching, I think, isn't he?
I think so.
He's a pitching coach, I think, for the Texas Rangers. Let me look him up.
Yeah, Green
That's got to be just a hard lesson. Okay, I need you to throw a fastball that dances around at 86 miles an hour that they can't hit. If you can do that, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's right.
Greg Maddox is like, they stole my signs, but it didn't matter because they weren't going to hit the ball anyway.
Mattis was hired as a special assistant for spring training by the Texas Rangers, joining his brother Mike Maddox, who is the new pitching coach.
Okay.
Okay.
I knew they had a Maddox.
Yeah.
Honey, have I ever told you you're as party as Greg Maddox?
But actually, the World Baseball Classic was my first introduction to John Smoltz as a color guy. I like John.
He's been doing it for a while. He's been he was like the lead guy. He was the lead analyst for TBS during the playoffs. He's like the number one guy.
Yeah.
And they picked up Frenchie too on TBS during the playoff runs.
But it's been so long since I watched baseball. Before this year, I still remember like Tim McCarver and Joe Morgan as analysts.
Yeah.
Talking baseball. Harold Reynolds.
Harold Reynolds. He was so good before and then he got an essay accusation at ESPN, and they canned him. He's on MLB Network now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Harold Reynolds is the recipient of that legendary play where he thought he had an easy double that he was going to score from second, and the ball got hit to the wall, and Bo Jackson threw him out at the plate.
Yeah.
I mean, just threw a pellet from the wall.
Yeah.
You talk about a freak athlete. That was Bo Jackson. My gosh.
I just like watching his baseball highlights from time to time.
I don't even think that ball bounced. I think it was just right in the glove.
Yeah. Well,
No, I mean he threw a line drive.
Yeah.
There's also that double play that he threw from left field to first base that had the runner out by like 7 feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, are you talking about Michael Kay or John Sterling, Wes? It's an A-bomb from A-Rod.
What's the guy that does the home run derby? He's like, it's Burt.
It's
Chris Berman.
Yeah. He's pretty funny.
Michael Kay is really good.
Yeah. One thing that like Bob Uecker, all the major league jokes aside, but him calling the Brewers games back in the day.
Yeah, he was a legend.
Yeah.
By the way, before we go, it's so far Colorado has 51 players who are transferred out.
That's a lot of Louis coming.
Good Lord.
And they have set up enough roster space they can get 70 players in the transfer portal.
Before everybody gets mad at Deion Sanders, because that's what people want to do in this situation.
He knows
this
God,
was a 1-11 team.
Right.
He would get run out of town if he just slowly let those guys graduate and kind of start from scratch. He's doing this to making as big of an impact as quickly as possible. And this year, they're still going to go 6-6.
And the whole thing where he wouldn't release practice film for that kid, that never happens, really.
Okay. Then,
well, he's not releasing 2023, like this spring.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not upset at him, but this is still college, not like a professional team. He came in and just kicked a whole bunch of kids out of school because he just didn't want them on his team anymore.
I mean, we're paying players now. I mean, it's almost just like an NFL. So.
I know
College football is
that's a
professional.
problem.
It's pretty much a business.
It's that line's way past blurred.
There's something wrong with that. We're just coming into a school where kids have agreed to come, gotten their scholarships, and he just comes in.
Power 5.
I don't like you. Get out.
That's what Power 5 has done, man. That's what Power 5 is.
But every one of those players that he's getting rid of, if they want to, have an additional be a scholarship athlete in college football. Their playing career is not over, because as a Power 5 school, they can slip down to Northern Colorado and FCS level and completely go as a full ride when everybody else is just on a partial scholarship. So
right.
From a 1-11 team, probably, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like these kids don't have anywhere to go. They'll be highly sought after. They'll be. I mean, it sucks, but I mean, it's Power 5 football, man. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, it sucks, but it's what it is.
Well, I think that's why people are mad. It's not that he's doing something wrong. It's such a shitty thing to do. But you're right. It's the way it is now.
But everybody knows that it's like that. I mean, it's not a shock to anybody.
Yeah. But sometimes getting it thrown in your face.
Well, it's a shock.
People.
It's a shock to Myrtle that is reading this headline and pays attention to college football every 10 years.
Yeah. It's sometimes crappy stuff is happening. You just don't want to have to hear about it. And Deion Sanders said, "No, I'm going to throw this right in your face."
Deion has been as transparent. He's been more transparent than any other coach in America. About it.
Wes just said it. I mean, College Game Day went down there to Jackson, and all he talked about was leaving and going to another job. So
that's true.
He don't hold nothing back.
Well, it's like it's an FCS program. People that got mad for him leaving Jackson State.
It was going to happen. Everybody knew it was going to happen.
That's like, okay, I'm just going to accept being mid because I'm good at a bad job.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't want to play that game. No, I love it here. I would never leave. No, he was going.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like anybody with half a brain cell knew that he was going to be at Jackson State 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah. Unless he was just terrible at it.
And if he was there 3 years, that would have been like hey, you're Deion Sanders. You get a bonus year before we let you go.
And I hate to break it, before they hired Sonny Dykes at TCU, Deion tried really hard to get that job the year before.
Right.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, not to change the subject, but the Grizzlies did win Game 5, so I didn't know if y'all are paying attention. Just make sure everybody knows.
Well, what's the series count?
3-2. Lakers. Yeah.
Please.
They go back to the Lakers now, right?
I'm in no way a Grizzlies fan, but God Almighty, please knock LeBron out.
The Flakers.
That's what I'm hoping too. And the Grizzlies are going to be good for a few years. They've got some good young players.
What are you, Skip Bayless?
Ja is injured, right? Ja Moran is not even playing.
No, he plays hurt. He is hurt, but he's playing.
Prince James. Yeah.
Princess
James.
James.
And he had a good game too. LeBron did, but they couldn't.
He's their only offense.
Yeah. Well, who's the other guy that came in?
Anthony Davis, I think, did all right.
Yeah, there you go. He was hurt, but he decided to play tonight too. So, and he was doing pretty well as well. So, but they just.
But other than that, who do they have? Russell Westbrook is kind of out of his prime now.
Russell Westbrook's on the Clippers.
So he's on the Clippers now. That's right. He was on the Lakers last year.
Yeah,
So.
he's on the Clippers. He got traded like this season.
Yeah.
Dude, the Hawks cut it to 3-2 in the series.
D'Angelo Russell, but yeah, no, it's
Trae Young had a huge night, double with 38 and 13.
Do y'all want to hear? Y'all want to hear a weird stat?
what's that?
So, the Detroit Tigers are 1-11 against the AL East. In games they played this season against the AL East, they are 8-3 against everybody else.
Jeez,
That's just can't handle their division.
Yeah, they've been swept by the Rays, the Red Sox, and the Orioles. Won one game against the Blue Jays, and they've won series against the Guardians, the Giants, and the
I can't
Brewers.
get used to that. I can't get used to the Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't either.
Well, they dropped one today.
Yeah,
against the Brew Crew.
they can't sweep anybody, but they can take 2 or 3 apparently.
How about the Pirates, dude? 17
Pirates throwing fire too.
17-8, man. They just crushed the Dodgers.
And they just gave Brian Reynolds a new contract.
Oh, by the way, do any of y'all have MLB TV?
No.
Mm-mm.
On their channel in the morning, they put like clips up.
Actually,
It's called like Recap and Rewind or something like that every morning, and it's like a 45-minute video that's just highlights of one game to the other. It is so much like Sports Center used to be. That's
Wow.
just awesome. Yeah.
I could
all
check
right,
that out.
all right, Steve. I got, since you're a lifelong Detroit fan,
Have been for a month.
I've got. You need to jump on the Lions now too.
No. I'm taking
MC.
NFL wise. I'm taking NFL wise.
MCDC. No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
You just.
Yeah. He's a
You're,
lifelong Miami Dolphins
you
fan.
gotta. Aren't you legally separated from the
No.
getting into divorce?
No, they got rid of Jameis. They brought in Derek Carr. I was on the fence.
Okay, you were going to get the papers.
Yeah, like
for-
all I
for
said
divorce.
was
No,
I'm
that-
not going through what the Saints did in the '80s again. I was not going to do that, and I am not going to do that.
That general apathy is just what being a Saints fan looks like.
See you, Wes. Thank you for
All
joining.
right, Wes. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, Wes.
Oh, wait. What Wes said there, at least I guess that's him, the comment right below that. Did Smoke transfer over to Colorado?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kvassier-
Kvassier.
Really?
know that.
I did not know that
Yeah.
either.
He was good in Kentucky, so yeah, that'll be interesting. Huh?
He's going to play his 12th season.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
He just seemed like he's been
sure.
around a while, but
Did you see that the Pirates had a rookie that got called up and made his debut tonight that played in over 1,000 minor league games without being called up?
He's
He's like 32 or something like
yeah,
that.
he's 33
Yeah.
years old. But
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
Crash
Durham,
Davis.
what's yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie,
Yeah.
something like that. Drew Maggie, I think is what his name is.
So
Well, good for
he made it. Yeah, he made his debut tonight.
That's cool.
How do you do? Anybody know?
Well, they won 8-1, so
He's like saying won a game, yeah.
Yeah.
let's see. Let's look at the box score here.
I wonder if he even played though.
The first thing you notice the difference.
He pinch
because-
hit. He pinch hit and he struck out.
Yeah, MLB.TV, the first thing you realize is since you have all the affiliates games, because I can watch like the Toledo Mud Hens games, every one of their games as well. But the first thing you notice, the jump from AAA to Major League, is there's nobody throwing sweepers like that in AAA. There's nobody pitching like that in AAA.
That's the biggest. That might be one of the biggest differences in sports from like in football going from college to the NFL is like, that's a pretty sizable jump where like wide open in college is way different than wide open in the NFL. But like pitching from AAA to Major League might be the greatest chasm of talent gap ever. Because God Almighty, those Major League pitchers, man, they can.
Oh man!
Except for the Tigers bullpen.
No, the Tigers have a bullpen now. They are number one in the Major League Baseball. They just had a
Dang.
bad first week.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
good for them.
yeah.
Glad they got it together.
They're locking it up. They just can't hit the ball at all. I've never seen so many Mendoza averages.
How about the Red Sox in last place in the East?
Well, that's just because the East is. I've seen the East. I don't want none of the East. I'm just tired.
Let's see who's the worst team. The Las Vegas A's, I think, are the worst team.
Las Vegas A's.
Now 5-19 for them.
The A's are going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They got.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the funny thing is, somebody said that for this Las Vegas, they're going to prove that they needed to stay in Oakland because we're going to do the opposite of a fan boycott to where we all go to a game. It's like if y'all had done this all the time, they'd still be there. It's like there's like 7 people at the game. It's like, come on, you got drawn by your AAA team in Las Vegas. This was pretty written in the stars.
How does Oakland lose 2 franchises to Vegas? That's
same way Atlanta loses 2 NHL franchises to Canada.
Oh, that's a good point.
Speaking of which, they're trying to
nobody cares.
They're trying to bring an NHL franchise back to Atlanta, apparently.
Screw that. Oh, third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, it's like, what's next? They're going to invade Russia during the winter? What?
Like, let me know how that works out, because you have the Preds who are just freaking killing it in this region. You have the Preds up north. You have the Lightning down south. Like you're kind of screwed in the hockey world. Like Atlanta, just stay away from the NHL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
need to go to a Lightning game.
And you have Carolina and you have the Hurricanes who are making a run in the Stanley Cup playoffs to the east of you there.
And just like Jeb, you have the Panthers, which is just an NHL team in Miami.
Had they ever been good, the Panthers?
I think they were good
they
one
won.
year.
Yeah, they won it one year.
Okay,
Really?
because I know like the last several years they've been like top 5 draft pick like every single year. It seems like.
You're sitting there, sitting here, and it's like they're the Florida Panthers, and you're like, really, guys? That's what you came up with. You got the Orlando Solar Bears, but you're going with Panthers.
Yeah. Is there any Panthers down in Florida?
Yeah, there actually are, but still, that's a horrible name for an ice hockey team.
Right.
You got the Lightning up the road.
Mm-hmm. Which for Florida makes sense.
Their uniform is basically looks like Shazam. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, so trivia, Jake. What 2 NHL franchises spent time in Atlanta?
I know the Thrashers.
Well, the Thrashers were the former team, but what 2 current NFL teams had a previous stay in Atlanta, Georgia?
And NHL.
In the NHL.
The Winnipeg Jets.
Okay, that's one.
And I'm not sure about the other one.
The other one makes sense if you realize they were in Atlanta first. The Calgary Flames. They literally named a team after what Sherman did to that city.
Yeah. The Atlanta Flames. Yeah. The logo was pretty
Fire.
sweet.
I just remember. Yeah.
Sorry.
I just remember the Thrashers leaving and then becoming the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, I hate the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg got their team back, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just need.
I like the Thrashers.
Now we just need Hartford.
I did.
Hey, I remember when there was a Quebec Nordiques.
Wow.
Quebec Nordiques, Hartford Whalers, the Winnipeg Jets.
The Nordiques became the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
The original Winnipeg Jets, didn't they become the Phoenix Coyotes?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Edmonton Oilers are always really good too.
Yeah, they've got another player. Okay, Wayne Gretzky is and will always be the greatest player in the history of hockey. But the fact that the Edmonton Oilers has potentially a generational type player, even at the level of somebody like Sidney Crosby, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Maybe
what's his name?
McCaddis or something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But Jay, going back to your point of the Thrashers, we We had a huge series against the New York Rangers in our only playoff appearance. Danny Heatley, Ilya Kovalchuk, and Marian Hossa, and get swept in the first round.
Oh my gosh. I was still like a kid when all that was going on, but I all three of them guys was great though.
I forget his name, but he was the starting goalie for the Finland national team,
and got swept.
Yeah, like the entire season, just killing people.
Atlanta has named their hockey teams after what Sherman did to their city, their biggest trauma as a city, and a bird that's about that big.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
There are mosquitoes bigger than those birds.
Yeah, a brown thrasher. It's a state bird.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have significance. It's a state bird, but
that doesn't mean you have to name it. They probably have a state mammal too.
What barbecue sauce do you like? Any kind of barbecue sauce.
Hey,
I'm a barbecue sauce.
I'm a Carolina Gold guy. I love Carolina Gold barbecue sauce.
Do not put Carolina in the same sentence with the barbecue police.
Oh. Is that like Alabama and white sauce don't go together? I heard people talk about that.
Definitely don't put Alabama and barbecue together. There's Memphis style barbecue, there's Texas style barbecue, and there's St. Louis or Kansas City style barbecue.
Kansas City, yeah.
Oh, you ain't never had Dreamland in Alabama?
But Dreamland is not an Alabama style. It's based off one of the other ones.
Yeah, but it's good.
Places like vinegar-based barbecue sauce and stuff from Carolina, what they do.
Carolina's mustard.
Mustard, yeah. It's like,
pretty good, actually.
It is pretty good, actually.
Carolina Gold, man. Shit's good.
All right, Corey, get us out of here.
Yeah. All right, Wes. That was a good question. So we are SEC After Dark. We hope you enjoyed. We're presented by Surprise later on. We're expanding. We're getting better than ever, and we'll be better than ever as we go. Football season will be upon us before you know it.
And then picks will be back. We need to sell picks.
We need to sell picks.
Yeah, somebody needs to advertise on picks, and I think we might be able to make that happen.
Let's do it.
Nice.
All right, Jake, Jeb, and Steve. I'm Corey. We are SEC After Dark, presented by BetOnline.ag, and soon and a company to be named later. We'll see you back here next week, better than ever. But until then, go Dogs.
Hotty toddy.
Go Vols.
Roll Tide.
Hayes of Argentines 28. Roll Tide.
By the way, did y'all see the Titans did approve their new stadium?
Yeah. I saw that.
Did you see this? The largest taxpayer amount money ever spent on a stadium?
Oh, Lord.
Them tickets